Board at Yuma Union High School District Number 70 to order. As we just said the Pledge of Allegiance for our special meeting, I think we are going to skip that. And we're going to move right on to item 2.1. Board members may have a discussion about conferences, visitations, legislation, special recognition, donations, etc. May I please share the floor with any of you who would like to share? Christy.
I just want to thank the maintenance and facilities department of our district. They have had a ton of stuff thrown at them in the last couple of weeks, and they never get appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Carlos.
Yeah, I attended the ISBA 49th annual law conference from September 3rd through the 6th. Very productive because a lot of it was covered. Everything that was pretty much covered was about school safety, so that was a plus. And then on Saturday, the 6th, I attended the delegate assembly for the 2026 political agenda, where we discussed for consideration and approval of several amendments presented. All delegates present voted and approved the amendments on the item on equitably fund district schools to the national median per pupil funding, as well as to preserve, respect, and strengthen local control, improve opportunities and outcomes for all students, require public accountability and transparency for taxpayer dollars spent on education.
Thank you. Thanks for going. Yeah. Shelley? Okay. The only thing I wanted to say was thanks to everybody in this office, in this boardroom, for doing the amazing job that they have been doing. I really appreciate it. I told Trevor he got the gold star earlier, and he said, "For what?" And I said, "For doing your job." So thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. And that brings us to agenda item 2.2, Superintendent's Report. Tim.
Thank you. I do want to also thank Trevor. It's cold in here today. I will not be complaining.
No.
And I know Principal Hoover's not complaining about the temperature either, and nor Assistant Principal Beck. So we are very thankful that we have a wonderful facility staff, which we'll hear about more later. But for my superintendent's report, it's one of the best times of year when we get to hear from students. And this is the first time this semester, this school year, that we have students from our student councils coming up. And I just want to point out that it is COFA and Yuma High, our two oldest schools with really strong traditions. And I just want to say Principal Fritz at Yuma High is so supportive of all our schools that he's wearing both COFA and Yuma High colors today. So I do appreciate that, Mr. Fritz. So with that being said, we are going to start with COFA High School.
Good evening, Governing Board President Kravitz, Governing Board members, Superintendent Brienza, Associate Superintendents, and members of our community. My name is Martin Hernandez, and I am the COFA Student Body President.
My name is Ayla Pope, and I'm the Junior Class President. Today, we are excited to share some highlights from COFA High School.
Last year, our students put in hundreds of hours of service, and this year, we're expanding those efforts. We plan to organize cleanups, volunteer at Saddles of Joy and the Humane Society, and take part in several other community projects.
Our students continue to make us proud. COFA was named a Naval Honor School once again for our JROTC excellence. Julio Rena, one of our baseball players, helped the Arizona Diamondbacks Nike RBI squad win the senior championship in Florida earlier this month, and our art students earned an incredible 77 awards at the Yuma County Fair.
Our CTE programs are also shining like our bright sun. In law and public safety, 2 teams brought home gold at the National Leadership Conference. In digital photography, 2 students' work was chosen by the Yuma Visitors Bureau to appear on billboards across Arizona, with the first already up in Flagstaff. And our JRTC rifle team placed 21st overall and 12th in the Scholastic Division at the CMP National Championships.
This month, we're highlighting collaboration. At COFA, different clubs and programs come together to create meaningful events. For example, Student Council partners with CTE programs and student clubs to promote activities like the Club Fair during the burning of the Y.
We're looking forward to 2 major traditions: Homecoming weekend on October 3rd and 4th, which includes a parade, football game, and dance. This year, our theme is A Night at the Kingdom. We will also be having our Burning of the White on October 30th, our spirited tradition before our rivalry game.
In honor of our major traditions that are during Halloween week, we have prepared Halloween goodie bags for you guys. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share KOFA's accomplishments and upcoming events. We're proud of everything our students are achieving and look forward to an even greater year ahead.
Always remember,
Once a king, always a king.
Thank you, Kofa, and I do appreciate dinner. So I'm not joking. I know. I also want to just really do point out today is a Spirit Day at Yuma High School. So, Mr. Fritz, it is Patriotic Day, I believe. So, thank you for the colors. With that being said, I just had to make that correction. With that being said, I do want to bring up our oldest school, Yuma High School.
Good evening. My name is Kylie Fichkowski. I'm the student body president at Yuma High, and I'm here on behalf of student council to show you guys what Yuma High's been up to. Our JROTC program has been preparing to present the colors at our home varsity football game this Thursday, where active duty service members will attend as honorary team captains. These are our students of the month for August. They were all chosen because they demonstrate portraits of a graduate. Our current sports are golf, cheer, football, swim, cross country, and volleyball, and those are some of our upcoming game dates if you guys want to come support criminals. These were our student athletes of the month. They were chosen because they demonstrate good skills in the classroom and on the field. Our Mastery of the Arts program has started back up, where all Yuma Union students can come and participate in the arts. We bring in community artists and teach them a whole bunch of different skill sets that they could use possibly as future career paths. We just started our spirit, our school spirit, with our Team Beach themed Spirit Week 2 weeks ago. And this week we're doing Stars and Stripes for military, and tomorrow we're doing camouflage, and we also have a game tomorrow. Go Criminals. And last week we did a glow out for childhood cancer awareness. We all were wearing yellow in order to support them. And you can follow the Yuma High official Instagram and Facebook page. You get all our up-to-date things. It's great, guys. Thank you, and remember, it's always a great day to be a criminal.
All right, thank you very much, Kofa and Yuma. We do appreciate you being the first this year to present. And with that, Board President, that ends my superintendent report.
Thank you. Thanks to our presenters very much. And do not feel like you need to stay for the rest of the board meeting. You are free to go, so have a great night. Let's move on to informational item 3.1, mandatory reporting training. We have Jennifer McClellan. Tim, would you like to do an introduction?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a live show. I just want to let you know we've been practicing right up to 5:15, so we really hope this goes off without a hitch. But there's been a recent change in laws in Arizona, and it was really Senate Bill 1437 that made a change, which is now a state law, that district governing board members are required to be trained in mandatory reporting. So I was at the Trust Governance Conference Policy Summit a couple weeks ago, and Jennifer, who is an attorney with the Trust, but with Gus Rosenfeld, and she might look familiar because she came in person about a year and a half ago to present on the Trust policies that we now utilize. She presented and did a wonderful job just breaking down the requirements and what board members are responsible for, as well as any other staff member or employee of the district. So I asked her if she wouldn't mind attending virtually to give our board members an opportunity to be trained in mandatory reporting. So once again, this is a live show. I will be doing the clicking. Jennifer will just simply tell me next slide. If I get off, I'll try to catch up, but this will be successful. But if you have some questions at any point, I would just say speak into your mic because Jennifer might not be able to see you raise your hand. So does that sound good,
The
Jennifer?
slides that are going to be up there are the handouts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
What might be helpful, do you want to see if you can join from your phone again? And that way we have a different mic option. And once again, I preface that this is live, so we'll go to take 2. Oh. No. Not entirely, but you look great, though. How's that? I can try to restart our side of this meeting. Yeah, if I have that. Here, I'm going to try to restart our side of this meeting and see if that helps out. It's definitely something that the audio.
Why don't you offer that suggestion? No. I think she's on her phone now. Oh, instead of doing Zoom. Yeah. Maybe just call. That's what she just suggested. Yes, let's open up our goodie bags. Everybody go dig in. I'm going to look and see. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I got a Reese's.
We can't do it statically, though. No, we can't. So, at this point, Jennifer, do you maybe want to call into the meeting instead, and we'll have you on a telephone instead of the camera, so we'll just hear your voice. So we couldn't make that out, but I'll have Danny email you a number to call in on. Danny, you can either give her maybe my cell number, and I'll put it by the mic. Yeah, if you have my cell, you can call. I don't want to put it out on displays right now.
That would not be wise. Any comments, questions, concerns? Text him.
I don't know. She says she has it, but I don't know. Can you email her real quick? This way. Are you there, Jennifer?
You've got me. Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Yes. We can hear you much better.
Wonderful. Well, let's, and I'm so sorry for all the trouble.
You know what? This was my bright idea. So I will take all the success and failures that go with it, and this will be very successful. So I do appreciate you working with us. We're ready to go. So
Okay, great. So, Madam President, members of the board, I apologize for the technologically glitches here, but let's just get started. Again, my goal tonight, and Mr. Brianza's goal, was to give you some practical tips about the new requirements for mandatory reporting. Mr. Brianza can just interrupt me if you all have questions. I'm happy to take questions, but that would be the main goal, would be to respond to your inquiries. And I'm on the slide now, that is slide 4 regarding reporting obligations. So with the effectiveness of the new law, governing board members were specifically added as mandatory reporters under 2 different statutes that we'll talk about. The reporting obligation is to report to the authorities if you develop a reasonable belief that a minor is or has been the victim of physical injury, abuse, child abuse, a reportable offense, or neglect. Reportable offenses, and this is on the next slide, is a term of art. It's specifically defined in ARS 133620, and it includes a reasonable belief that a minor has been the victim of basically of any of the sex crimes. So it's sexual assault, sexual offense, molestation, incest, child prostitution. And those are specifically listed. If you have a reasonable belief, you are required, we'll go through how you would report it, but the next slide discusses what would be a reportable offense that is not a sex offense. And it's essentially any non-accidental physical injury. Physical injuries could include any type of bruising or discoloration of the skin. It can be a minor injury. You also are required to report any exposures to dangerous drugs or neglect, lack of care, and those would be within your reporting obligations. On slide 7, there's a discussion of what is a physical injury. And again, the reportable offenses require all mandatory reporters to report any physical injury that is suspected to be of anything other than accidental means. The standard for what is a physical injury is pretty low. So bruises, pressure sores, burns, bleeding, and then of course more serious injuries like fractures. On slide 8, we have the items that who you're supposed to be reporting to. So you're required to report to your local law enforcement, the Department of Child Safety if it's about a family member, and or tribal authorities. If the individual works in schools, then you're also required to report to the State Board of Education. Slide 9 is about the timing and the responsibility of reporting. The statutory language says that you shall immediately report. And it is the individual who forms the reasonable belief that is the mandatory reporter. So as a governing board member, in about 16 days on September 26th, when this law is effective, you would be the one who would be required to contact the police or the Department of Child Safety or the State Board of Education. It would be insufficient for you to tell Mr. Brianza and require him to do it because you as the mandatory reporter would hold that duty. That doesn't mean that you can't sit with your superintendent and make it together or have the assistance of a healthcare supervisor that works for Yuma Union. You can have assistance in making those reports because obviously you would never have done it. But but you would be the ones who hold the duty. And the law enforcement partners that we've been speaking with want to make sure that school districts are making that report immediately and not waiting till the end of the school day so that they can get in to investigate if they need to. The next slide discusses reporting to the state board. We've already discussed the criminal statute, which is ARS 133620. There's also a statute in Title 15514 that requires if the individual who is the alleged perpetrator of creating the child abuse is an individual who works in schools, you are required to report to the state board. You're also required to report to the state board before accepting the resignation of a certificated individual for immoral or unprofessional conduct. The next slide discusses immunity. You have absolute immunity for making these reports. So unless you're acting with malice or you're the one who's actually doing the abusing, any person who makes a report in the state of Arizona cannot be sued for it and cannot be found criminally liable for a report. There is criminal penalties for failing to report, as discussed on slide 12. So now I'd like to get into slide 13, which is discussion of the new law. Again, it changes how mandatory reporters can make reports, and it also changes how students can be interviewed. So we'll discuss those two topics next. The main change to the laws, other than adding governing board members and substitute teachers, is that school resource officers it doesn't satisfy your burden to report the matter simply by telling the school resource officer or school safety officer. So the next slide 15, shows the language that is in the statute. And it says a report to a school resource officer or a school safety officer does not satisfy the reporting requirements prescribed by this section. And that language is repeated in both of the laws that we just spoke about. The next section, slide 16, discusses the school resource officer's obligations. So the law actually now will create a mandatory reporting obligation on the part of a school resource officer if they learn of suspected child abuse. They're required to inform their local law enforcement agency, which is in all likelihood the same agency they work for. And the next slide 17 discusses the restrictions that they have. They are not permitted to interview students except as per Yuma County's protocol for the multidisciplinary review of child abuse cases. And so your local law enforcement will be familiar with that protocol, but essentially they are limited in the questions they can ask unless they are then assigned to the case. As that's the view of at least of the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, is that once this SRO, if they're assigned by their department, they would be able to exceed in asking minimal questions of the student. Next slide, we have met with jurisdictions. The ones that I've spoken to have all been related to Scottsdale Unified. Each of those jurisdictions have asked that when reports are made, that you call into dispatch and to the school resource officer at the same time. I don't know if Mr. Brianza's had the opportunity to work with your local law enforcement to see how they want it done, but most jurisdictions, if they are even aware of the statute, are asking that if you're calling into dispatch, that you also let the SRO know at the same time.
Jennifer, can I interrupt you real quick?
Please.
Sorry, and this is why she's a pro, because we've been flawless the whole time, slides and everything, so I do appreciate that. But we do call dispatch and let our SRO know at the same time. We're using the same protocol. And also, are there any questions from board members at this point yet? No? Okay, we're good, Jennifer. You can keep going.
Great. And I do want to note that if you are required to make the report, making sure that you document the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, which is the next slide, 19, has indicated that it would be important to get the ticket number or the call number. It may not be a police report yet, or even an incident report that the police would create. They may have a different docketing system for taking in the calls at dispatch. So you're going to want to try to take that number in and the name and time and date of when you made the report to dispatch, because that now is the actual mandatory report. If you're calling into the department, if you have to call the Department of Child Safety, or if you are submitting an online report to that organization, there will be a documentation that's provided to you. So that system is more set up than the local police departments in terms of getting confirmation of the mandatory report.
So,
slide.
go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
We do have one question from our board member, Mellon. So the question is basically, who are we calling, or what jurisdiction are we calling, and what number are we calling? No, you call the jurisdiction. So if it's in San Luis proper, it's San Luis PD. If it's in Somerton proper, it's Somerton PD. If it's something that happened in the counties, you'd call the sheriff's department. And if it's in Yuma proper, we'd call Yuma PD. So we have 4 different groups we work with. And in the past, it's always been, I've always called a non-emergency number. But I mean, if it's life-threatening, you can call 911 as well. Does that make sense, Jennifer?
That's exactly correct, Mr. Franza. That's exactly correct. And if the incident is alleged to have occurred on a field trip in a different county,
Yeah.
you'd be calling that jurisdiction. So it's wherever the alleged conduct occurred.
We have another question from our board president.
The question is actually for you,
Okay.
Tim, is that do we in our district have a policy of, like, after we make this mandatory report,
So your
I need
policy,
to call you and tell you? I mean, if, you know, it's whatever, it's at a Christmas party.
Well, so if you as a board member make a mandatory report, you have to let me know because,
But do we have policy for that, or is that just our desire?
no, there is policy that
Okay.
about us making a mandatory report and then recording that as well.
Okay,
And I think Jennifer just covered that as well real quickly about we have to record those dates and times
Right.
because that's the essence of the mandatory report. Correct,
Right.
Jennifer?
that's correct. And your policy is 4204.
Yeah.
4204, thank you.
Yeah. So slide 21 talks about the multidisciplinary protocol. The idea behind this is to minimize the number of times that a child victim is interviewed and to make sure that if a child victim has to be interviewed, that a forensic interview is conducted. And so there's important reasons for that. This goes to the limitations that the school resource officer may now have in terms of asking questions. But it would also cover you all if you are, if you are receiving information from a student or a child about what you should do. And the idea is that you should really only ask minimal questions so that you don't re-traumatize the child and so that the authorities can get the best evidence to be able to use to prosecute someone. In slide 22, when interviewing children, the county protocols generally subscribe that you only verify the bare minimum. So what happened? Who did this to you? Where were you? When did it happen? If a child is self-disclosing, so slide 23, you're not required to stop them from self-disclosures. In other words, if they're spilling out what occurred, you don't need to stop and say, listen, don't tell me anymore. You just need to write down the exact words of what's used. And your staff have been trained in this, I'm certain. If a third party gives school personnel the information so let's say a parent comes in and says at my child's slumber party, their friend disclosed this to me, I don't know what to do with the information. That parent is actually a mandatory reporter as well, but the staff now know, so they have the obligation to make the calls, but they don't need to re-interview the student to reconfirm. And all information about child abuse reporting should be kept separately. This isn't kept in the child's cumulative file. Slide 24 talks about coordination with law enforcement. So typically, if there is a suspect of abuse, especially if it's an allegation of sexual abuse, the law enforcement is going to take the student to an advocacy center in your area for a forensic interview. Protocol generally indicates that law enforcement will inform the family, and if they take the students off your campus, that your administrators know to make sure that they get documentation of that custodial transfer. But in general, the law enforcement should be the ones to inform the family. Your administrator certainly can ask if they can inform the family, and if they get permission, they can. Slide 25 talks about your different policies that we discussed briefly. 4204 is mandatory reporting, and then there's 2 procedures, one on child abuse reporting and one reporting on suspected crimes and incidents, And then slide 26 gives some additional resources, including the Arizona Department of Child Safety is required to create training with the Arizona Prosecutor's Office. It's a lot lengthier than this training, but it's included in that if you had additional questions or wanted to look at that. And then again, the next slide is just about the different mandatory reporting procedures and policies. And that's all I have, Mr. Brianza. I'm happy to answer any additional questions that your board members might have on this important topic.
Okay, I think we might have one or two. So Board Member Mellon?
Does this also pertain to minor to minor abuse and then also to self-harm?
So if you couldn't hear, Jennifer, does this policy for mandatory reporting pertain to minor abuse and also self-harm?
So that's very good questions, Board Member Mellon. So with respect to minor abuse, the policy certainly applies. In fact, there's an Attorney General opinion that indicates that you're required to make reports of a non-accidental physical injury, even if the student who initiated the injury or who was the aggressive child is a student with special needs or doesn't have is intellectually disabled. They don't want you to take those factors into account. They want the districts to make the reports and allow the law enforcement to take those factors into account. So it absolutely applies on student to student misconduct. With regard to self-harm, that's a much more difficult question. It certainly is one where you would want to get assistance involved and any wraparound services that you might be able to provide. The real question there would be whether you suspect a neglect of the student's medical condition. And so if you suspected neglect of their behavioral health concerns, then you would be required to make a report.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Board President?
I have a question. This seems probably silly, but we are a district of high school students. As far as the legal intent of this law, we are required to mandatorily report all of this for any age child?
No, so that's a very good question. There is a specific exception written into the mandatory reporting law for consensual sexual activity between students of a certain age. So if the student is over the age of 14 and the minor is under the age of 18, you're not required to report that conduct.
And I think another question that also is, since we're a 9 through 12 district, if we hear of something that's reported by someone in middle school, are we a mandatory reporter even though it's not our student?
That's a very good question too. If you become aware of information, even though the child is not your student, you would have the obligation to report. The reporting laws talk about, the harms to the minor. They don't talk about whether the minor is within your jurisdiction to educate. That brings up another sub-issue, which is, what if we had a situation recently where a school district got a letter alleging that an individual was harming children. Well, allegations were that the person was a pedophile, and the letter was sent to the superintendent and all 5 board members. And so in that instance, in my opinion, it's sufficient for the superintendent to make the report and then to inform all 5 board members that this report was made, because each of the 6 individuals have that mandatory reporting obligation. But the real important piece is that the report actually get made. So.
Any other questions? We don't have any more questions, Jennifer.
Great. Well, I'm so happy to be able to spend some time with you tonight, and I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, but we got through it. So
we got through it. So I do appreciate you helping us out today, though.
Yep, of course. Thanks so much, and thank you for being a part of our Model Policy Program. We're very happy to have you. So
absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So I just want to add that. Sorry, I'll pick up my mic now. I would just like to add. That's my drop the mic moment, I guess. I would like to add that if any staff members are also here, there is a sign-in sheet that you did attend the training. So I'll pass around at the end of the meeting for our board members, and then feel free to come up and sign as well. That way everyone's accounted for who was here for this training. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for providing that, Tim. Moving on to informational item 3.2, budget update. Brenda, we get to see your smiling face again.
Hello again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Again, my name is Brenda Higuera, Director of Finance, and this time I'm doing our monthly internal budget update. So you should have that in front of you. I do just want to remind you, as usually we do, but the budget amount that is on the monthly report is what was adopted, because you haven't approved our revision yet. So you'll see an updated budget report for next month.
Okay.
Okay. The first page is our maintenance and operation budget. You'll see there our salaries, our fixed expenditures, and our school budgets. Being that we've just started the school year, you're probably going to see a lot of zeros, but we are making expenditures. So the second page is our continuation of our M&O budget, and that is broken down by the different departments. We have spent about 8% so far. So our budgeted amount is $104,621,240. Expenditures as of 9/3/2025, $8,272,686. The next page is our capital budget. So you'll see that also broken down by the different departments and our school budgets. Our budgeted amount is $11,032,089. We have spent about 16% of that is $1,736,449. And then your very last page is the monthly student activities fund report. And so the ending cash balance, again, this is like the total for the whole district, $726,840.27. And then on the bottom, you'll see our revenues and expenditures. This says August, but you'll see it says it's for last year, so it's just closing it out. The balance, and you'll see a negative because they spent more than what they brought in. So it's $8,137.21, which is what we want to see because we want to make sure that they're spending that money. Any questions?
Anybody? I think you did a thorough explanation. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all of your fiscalness.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Moving on to informational item 3.3, first read of policies. Tim?
We do have 3 policies and 2 procedures presented to you in your board packet.
Yes.
Around our business operations and students. So they'll come back around next month, the policies for adoption.
Okay, thank you. They were all in our book. Does anybody have a question or comment? Okay, great. Moving on to item 3.4, human resources and our retention rate. Let me get to that. Where is that? On here. Sorry. Okay, perfect. Bobby. Oh, you're there. Perfect.
Yes. So, good evening. So I'm here to talk about something good tonight, which is retention rates. So as you can see here, our retention rates for our certified staff and our returning teachers is continuing to be successful. So for the 3rd year in a row, we have pretty much reached about an 88% retention rate for our returning teachers, and our certified staff has remained above, between 84 and then 87.9 is our high. So that's something that we're very proud of here at the district. That it's a direct reflection of the consistency that our teachers are continuing to build in the classroom with the students, and it's the importance here is that you know, it's not just pay, it's everything that we're doing here at the district with employees, you know, just making sure that we continue to have every employee feel valued as being an employee here, and it translates to our classrooms with our students. So that's our numbers. You know, I can answer questions should you have more. I just want to keep it short and sweet tonight.
Does anybody else have a question? I have one quick question, and I'm going to put you on the spot with it. Do you happen to know our state numbers, how we compare to that overall state?
I don't, but I would be, if I was a betting man, I'd say we're a lot better than the state average.
Well, I know, but I wanted the
But
proof.
I don't know exactly how much, but I'll try to find out and make sure I'll let
Share
you
that.
know.
I appreciate that. Great job. Thank you. All right. moving on to item 3.5. Thanks, Bobby. Facilities Department overview. Mr. Treva, superstar.
Good evening, board members and superintendents. I'm Trevor Swenson, Executive Director, Facilities. And I've got a short presentation just to kind of give you a brief overview of what we do. So our Facilities Department strives to keep our learning environment safe, clean, and reliable so students and teachers can focus on learning. Across the district, we maintain 7 campuses, our district office complex, and the YEMMC warehouse facility, serving a little over 11,000 students and roughly 1,100 staff members. Combined, these facilities total 1,655,914 square feet of building space across 375 acres of property. In total, we've got 99 buildings. We've got a wide range in age, with our oldest being built in 1914 and our newest completed in 2024. So, fun fact, our average building age is 29 years. Next slide. Our team oversees building, maintenance, custodial services, and campus grounds. We prioritize safety and security, preventive maintenance, and fiscal responsibility. Our department totals 112 team members across the district, and broken down by roles, that's 51 custodians, 21 groundskeepers, 17 maintenance techs, 12 campus supervisors, 5 HVAC technicians. I, as the executive director, am directly supported by Director of Facilities, Emilio Sanchez, and our administrative assistant, Betty Durham. And another fun fact, so far this fiscal year, we have processed approximately 1,100 work orders, so from July 1 till today. And next slide. So our mission is simple. We strive to provide safe, clean, and reliable spaces so that teaching and learning can thrive. As I mentioned earlier, we support the teaching and learning of 1,122 students and about 1,100 staff members across the 7 campuses. So just some interesting numbers broken down. That's 564 classrooms, 12 gymnasiums, 7 cafeterias, 5 auditoriums, 31 athletic fields, 36 tennis courts, 5 running tracks, with the 6th scheduled to be completed this month. And another fun fact, our district has 11 elevators. Okay, next slide. Okay, so HVAC systems, key component of what we do. So our HVAC systems provide healthy classrooms by providing proper ventilation, temperature control, and air quality so that students and staff can focus on learning. So just some interesting information you may not know. Our district has 11 water-cooled chillers and 5 cooling towers that provide 5,300 tons of cooling capacity. So this, along with hundreds of package units, fan coil units, evaporative coolers, and mini splits, these all work in conjunction to keep our spaces safe, healthy, and preserve vital equipment. For example, our district office server room that houses critical data for thousands of students is cooled 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by 4 special computer room air conditioners, or crack units. We also have 8 walk-in freezers and 6 walk-in refrigerators that support the student nutrition program. Another fun fact, we go through a little over 15,000 air filters a year. Next slide. Okay, we are committed to being forward-thinking in how we manage our facilities. And something that I'm really proud of is highlighted on this slide. So we have a system or a project in motion to put together a specialized grounds team. This grounds team will specialize in maintaining our 20 baseball and softball fields across the district. So drawing from a wealth of experience, this team will assemble during select times throughout the year to put special attention on these fields. So these are groundskeepers that are dispersed throughout the district, and then when the team gets together, it's sourcing, you know, a team member from each of those campuses, or sometimes two. So a key factor that sets this team apart is the new training and equipment that we have invested in them. For example, in this slide, there's a picture of a new Z23 infield groomer that we recently acquired. This machine enables us to do things like laser level fields, precisely cut, drag, edge, and finish the playing surfaces of the infield. Well-maintained baseball fields and softball fields will give students a safe, reliable space to practice teamwork and discipline and participate in a healthy activity. So this is just one example of a few that I could mention that are initiatives we have in place to improve the environment that our students are in. And it's our goal to just bring the best that we can to our students. So I'm very proud of the hard work and dedication that our facilities team puts in every day and sometimes nights to support our district. So that pretty much concludes what I wanted to present. I'm happy to answer any questions or anything that you might have.
Yes, Mr. Swenson, I do have a question. Most of the work orders, manpower, are done from our own staff, or sometimes you have to hire outside facility, outside agencies when needed?
So let me ask, you're asking about the work orders?
Yeah, an AC is broken. Is it fixable? Our own staff fix it, or you bring somebody else from outside?
No, most of the time we fix it.
Okay.
We try to not call outside vendors unless it's a last resort. So the 1,100 work orders that I mentioned, those were all put in by, staff members or members of my own staff, and then those work orders were completed by the facilities department.
Because we just had an issue with the Hillary Ridge.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a work order submitted for that, the pipe that broke. Ms. Hoover, if you didn't submit one, but no.
I don't know how big it was, that's why.
No, so I think what Board Member Gonzalez is saying, there might be some emergencies sometimes where the work orders are not taken care of, and we call in outside vendors to help with the work because they have the specialization.
So is your question, how often do we do that? How
Pretty
often
much,
do we
yeah.
have to go outside?
Agencies
It's somewhat rare. I would say, fewer than 5% of the issues that arise are completed by outside vendors. That was a special case where it was beyond the scope of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Sure.
Please.
It's good to know that you have such a qualified people to do, all kinds of jobs. So
We
like
do
that.
have a great team of vendors that we work with that are very responsive and willing to help out when emergencies like that come up.
No, but I'm talking about our own staff.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
agreeing with you.
Good.
Perfect. Shelley?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you
Thank
for
you.
the presentation and for the team that makes all that happen in your leadership. Do we have generators that we have for backup for some of those freezers? How do you utilize generators throughout the district, or just was curious about that?
We do. We do have two large 65 kW generators that are mobile, so they're like a trailer. And we do have connections at each of our freezers so that we can quickly connect those to preserve food in the event of a power loss.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to say also, thank you for the presentation. It was incredibly timely, I think, after this big, massive monster storm that we had that wreaked havoc. I also wanted to, just talking about facilities, throughout my tours on the campuses, I want to commend all of the staff at the building level who keeps our buildings looking fresh and clean, and that's your staff too that does that. And so It's very noticeable from the outside, from the public, and it's very appreciated by the staff and the students and by us. And so we wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 4, call to the public. Any person wishing to speak may present the information at this time only. All presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and a maximum of 15 minutes on each subject. Before you begin to speak, identify yourself by clearly stating for the record your name. Comments by members of the governing board in response to any public comment will be limited to asking our staff to review the matter, requesting rescheduling of the matter for further reconsideration at a later date. I do not have any public forums. Is there anybody who wishes to speak? Okay, thank you. Oh, yes. Did you fill out a form? There are forms on the back table, just if you don't mind grabbing one. When you're done and filling it out and leaving it with Danny would be great. Thank you. No, we can hear you speak first. Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Joanna Smith. I'm a proud parent of a Kofa High School junior. Sorry. And the reason I'm here is actually I just was listening about maintenance of the school, okay? So I don't know if you have seen what happened to Kofa. It's not the first time, it's twice already. Sorry, I get choked also. Safety is very important to me. So every time we drive in, there's a lot of dirt. It's caving in, you know. So I think it's like they need to address it really good, put some kind of retaining wall or something, because there's some really bad damage. Last year, they just scoped out the dirt up there, and then now it's worse. So I just want to bring it out to you guys. You can tour our campus. Also, there was the area the construction that's going around there. There's also some sand in the school, so it's not safe for kids, okay? So I just came here for that. You know, I'm listening to what's going on. This is the first time. I used to be in the school board for Catholic schools, so I know it's like we can do something about this. Okay, that's the only one. That's the only thing that I want to address. Oh, actually, the football team needs a new scoreboard. Okay, so I told our principals that I was going to come in and talk to you guys about that, because, I mean, Somerton High School is a beautiful school, but we have neglected Kofa, and we need a little TLC. Okay.
If you could please fill out a form so that the district might be able to follow up with you, that would be great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to add, it's important that we fill out the form so we have your contact information so we can get back with you if needed.
Thank you, Tim. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak before the board? Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to move on to item 5, consent items. Adoption of items of routine nature and those that normally do not require deliberations on the part of the governing board. A board member may pull items which will be discussed and voted on separately. I have 2 things to pull. I am going to, out of item 5.2, routine personnel, we're pulling line 15, and we are pulling item 5.4.2 completely. So is there a motion to accept these items as presented, excluding the 2 items that have been pulled, please?
I move that the governing board approve the consent items as submitted.
Second.
Thank you. Consent item, motion. Okay, stop. Let me start over. Motion made by Christy, seconded by Shelley. Any comments or questions? Great, then let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item 6, accepting donations. Consideration to accept donations, which I will now read. To Cibola High School. Donors choose donated classroom supplies, a printer, a cotton candy machine to the Cibola High School Living Skills Classroom to be used as needed. The estimated cost of this donation is $1,013.61. Grand Canyon University donated the transportation cost for the Cibola High School Law and Public Safety class to visit the GCU campus. The estimated cost of this donation is $1,500. Donors choose donated classroom supplies to the Cibola High School classrooms of Mrs. Atkins. The estimated cost of this donation is $452.09. To Gila Ridge High School, MG Auto Parts, Inc. donated a wrecked vehicle to the Gila Ridge High School Student Council for use in their annual car smash and bonfire event. The estimated cost of this donation is $2,000. Jacob L. Rochester donated an assortment of sodas to the Gila Ridge High School Welding Club to be sold at fundraising events. The estimated cost of this donation is $22. Gila Ridge Pallet Company donated 3 to 4 loads of pallets and scrap wood to the Gila Ridge High School Student Council for use in the annual car smash and bonfire event. The estimated cost of this donation is $500. Donors Choose donated classroom supplies and sensory fidgets to Gila Ridge High School ECE Level 3 classes. The estimated cost of this donation is $701. Dalen Delgado donated a variety of concession items to the Gila Ridge High School class of 2028 to be sold at fundraising events. The estimated cost of this donation is $90. Lady Hawks Volleyball Booster Club donated an end-line indoor point camera to the Gila Ridge High School Athletics Department. The estimated cost of this donation is $1,000. Gila Ridge Student Council donated a variety of concession items to the Gila Ridge High School class of 2027 to be sold at fundraising events. The estimated cost of this donation is $190. Destiny Pena donated an assortment of ice pops to Gila Ridge High School to be sold at fundraisers. The estimated cost of this donation is $100. Jackson Parker donated a variety of concession items to the Gila Ridge High School National Honor Society to be sold at fundraising events. The estimated cost of this donation is $100. Tacoma High School, SpiritStar.org donated 15 T-shirts to Tacoma High School to be given away to fans, staff, and/or students. The estimated cost of this donation is $120. Del Sol Therapy donated electrolyte hydration drinks to the Kofa High School Athletic Department to give to student athletes. The estimated cost of this donation is $5,000. To San Luis High School, 4th Avenue Gym Foundation donated a batting cage with a net, mats, and other athletic equipment to the San Luis High School Athletic Department to be used as needed. The estimated cost of this donation is $12,507. Seth Wineland donated 4 power strips to the San Luis High School Student Social Studies classroom. The estimated cost of this donation is $45. Heriberto de la Cruz donated the rental of porta potties to the San Luis High School baseball team to be used during the season. The estimated cost of this donation is $1,000. Andrea Aranda donated 40 swim caps with the school logo to the San Luis High School swim team. The estimated cost of this donation is $200. To Somerton High School, Magnolia and Salvador Alonso donated $1,180 to the Somerton High School boys wrestling program to be the Yuma High School class of 2028 to sell during home athletic events. The estimated cost of this donation is $240. Stephen Anderson donated a golf net and golf hitting aid to the Yuma High School boys and girls golf team to be used as needed. The estimated cost of this donation is $120. Mi Vida Car Show donated composition notebooks and pencils to the Yuma High School Guidance Department, which will be distributed to students as needed. The estimated cost of this donation is $700. Arizona Western College donated the transportation cost for the Yuma High School senior class to attend a tour and presentation at AWC. The estimated cost of this donation is $1,500. David Dunnigan donated the 2 stand-up sprinklers and 2 hoses to Yuma High School. The estimated cost of this donation is $190. Emilio Sanchez donated a Rydell helmet to the Yuma High School athletic football program. The estimated cost of this donation is $649.99. Church for the City donated lighting and other classroom supplies to the Yuma Union High School Mastery of the Arts program to be used in the theater technology class. The estimated cost of this donation is $1,800. Claudia and Aaron Avitia donated 7 photography backdrops to the Yuma High School Mastery of the Arts program to be used in the photography classes. The estimated cost of this donation is $105. To the Yuma Union High School District Number 70, Chapman Automotive Group donated a sponsored HUDL live game streaming package for the Yuma Union High School District athletic programs benefiting Cibola, Kofa, Gila Ridge, San Luis, Somerton, and Yuma High Schools. The estimated cost of this donation is $72,000. Liana Millett and Maria Dillard each donated 2 dozen Goldsboro donuts to the Yuma Union High School District Teaching and Learning Team to be given to parents and students at Parent Academy. The estimated cost of this donation is $60. The total donations this month is a whopping $108,555.69. Total year to date, $252,764.17. I did not miss a school, correct? I read them all. Okay. It is recommended that the governing board accept the above listed donations. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept the listed donations.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Carlos, seconded by Shelley. Is there any comments?
Thank you.
I have one comment, which would be to please write down exactly what was donated in the future. a little uncomfortable accepting a donation that says 3 to 4 or something such like that. So in the future, maybe we can have them be more specific. That's my only comment. Okay, let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Ooh. Action item 6.2, consideration to approve the budget revision for 25-26. It is recommended that we approve this budget revision. Is there anything left to be said? Any questions? Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the budget revision for 2025-2026.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Carlos, seconded. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the fiscal year 2026 capital plan for submission to the Arizona Department of Administration School
Thank you.
Facilities Division.
Thank you. Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Carlos. Any comments from us? Then let's please proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Action item 6.4, consideration to approve the 2025-2026 revised employee compensation packet. It was in our book. I believe it was just removing a fall break from a list of holidays for a specific type of employee. It was in our book. Is there any questions or any more information that we need to know? Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
I move that the governing board approve the revised employee compensation packet for 25-26 school year as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Christy, seconded by Shelley. Any discussion? Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.5. Consideration to approve the Somerton partial termination and release of ditch easement was in our packet. Is there anything that we need to know?
In a nutshell, the board approved this a couple months ago, but there's been a change, and it does not affect Yuma Union High School District, but the document itself changed, so I wanted the board to review it, and if approved, I can sign it. Really, it comes down to whoever owns the property will now pay for the irrigation ditch that has to be put in. And we do not own anything anymore. So there's no financial obligation, just a change.
Great. Thank you for the explanation. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the revised partial termination and release of ditch easement.
Thank you. Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Christy. Thank you so much. Any comments? Great. Let's proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item 7. Any future agenda items from any board member?
I have one.
You have one.
Just from feedback that I get from the public, at some point, doesn't have to be next month, but at some point, I would like a presentation on our dress codes. I get questions, pros and cons about it all the time, and it needs to be clarified to the public.
Okay, thank you. Next meeting of our board, item 8.1, our regular meeting is going to be Wednesday, October 15th. It's not the second Wednesday, it's later, at 5:15 in the professional services building right here. And then we might have a special board meeting next week. So keep on the lookout for that information. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Christy. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?